there are many people who want to improve their financial situation, but most don't realize how spending that seems harmless is destroying their finances. That's why today, you're going to learn about the 10 unnecessary expenses that may not be letting you accumulate money. I'm sure you have expense number 9 in your life, so don't leave this video to identify if you're doing it. I won't deny that many of us have some weaknesses where we spend money without thinking, whether it's on clothes, food, shoes, games, and many other things. These are expenses that, if done too often, affect our financial goals. But there are other absurd expenses where there is no excuse to stop spending, because they severely impact the health of our finances. If we really want to get out of the situation we find ourselves in, we must have more control and discipline with every penny we have. And that's the only way to prevent that money from leaving your pocket. That's why today you'll be able to identify which of these unnecessary expenses you're making and eliminate them right now. Expense number 1: cigarettes, alcohol, and drugs. There is no worse expense than this, which not only ruins your finances, but also damages your health and personal life. It's very common to see people who want to get out of poverty, but you'll see them with packs of cigarettes in their pockets, going out every weekend to get drunk or worse, taking drugs every chance they get. If you're someone with these bad habits, do the math and see how much you spend each month or year on cigarettes, alcohol, or drugs. Then you'll see why there's no money left over for your children or to pay your bills at the end of the month. It's important to note that part of what drives people to consume and spend excessively on these bad things could be a habit or an illness. If it's either of these, it's already dangerous, because you won't be able to stop on your own. You'll have to seek outside help to get rid of these addictions. Expense number 2: concert tickets. It's ridiculous not to have money to invest, but to go to every trendy concert that happens, where the cost of the ticket could be money that you could save or invest in something that brings you a return. That's why it's said that fanaticism can often go too far in people, because there are extreme cases in which we not only sacrifice our savings, but also our health. You can even go to a concert, but plan ahead and don't go to too many. Prioritize your financial life, and you'll see that things can change faster than you think. Expense number 3: gambling. Just like the previous one, gambling not only affects your finances, but also your mental health. Whether it's going to casinos to gamble money, playing the lottery several times, or betting on sports games, they are all very dangerous for your pocket and your peace of mind. Even if you win, your mind will insist that you go again to get more, unaware that this is a trap to lose more than you win. All gambling is a trap that destroys a person's finances. It has even been seen to destroy entire lives because it takes hold of your mind and you become trapped in a vicious circle that never ends. Just like alcohol and drugs, if you think you're seriously addicted, it's very necessary to seek the help of a specialist before you run out of money and destroy your life. Expense number 4: excessive spending on cars. Not having a house, being in bad financial shape, having a lot of debt, and deciding to sacrifice your savings to buy a car just because you saw that all your friends have one and are showing it off. What more unnecessary expense could there be? It's not wrong to buy a car when your financial situation is stable and you've managed to save for a few years. But if you're short of money and eager to get out of poverty, it's considered a stupid expense. People who make these expenditures are often frustrated, dissatisfied, and insecure, and seek to fill these voids by buying something that makes them feel on a par with others, and end up buying cars for the amount they can't currently afford and paying several installments, causing them to pay more than double in interest. If you really want to improve your financial situation, don't make this mistake. Expense number 5: rent. I'm not telling you to stop paying rent on the house, room, or apartment you live in. It's simply a question of choosing the right property for you, according to your needs. Many people tend to live in luxurious apartments in exclusive areas with sky-high rent costs, where they suffer every month to pay, all just to impress or because they're embarrassed to live somewhere more comfortable. I know that sometimes these exclusive places guarantee greater security, but think about whether, if you want to improve your financial situation, you should cut down on this excessive spending on rent. Expense number 6: spending too much on travel. This is very common in a poor mentality because they think of enjoying life for a moment and suffering for years. In other words, they take out a loan to go on vacation and suffer to pay the monthly installments for 3 or 4 years. That's why in the world of financial education, getting into debt to spend on something unnecessary is considered very wrong. When you want to improve your life, you have to think about every move you make, acting intelligently and taking the best possible care of your money. But if you still want to take your trip, plan patiently and buy in advance. That way you'll pay a lot less. Expense number 7. Designer clothes. Buying quality clothes that last is not a bad thing, but buying clothes just because they are branded and will make you look richer is tricky for improving your finances, as the cost of these clothes is often very high. It's very common for people with a poverty mentality to buy designer clothes with credit cards and then struggle to pay them off in many installments. This is also related to impulse buying, where you see any offer for shoes or clothes and spend your money without thinking. Only buy when you really need the clothes, but look for quality and cost-effectiveness, not brand names. Expense number 8. Paying in installments. As I've already mentioned, one of the bad habits that doesn't allow you to accumulate money is getting into debt with long installments. This refers to people who buy a television, a motorcycle, a car, and other things in many installments, which only consumes part of their monthly income. I recognize that sometimes we need essential items in our home, like a fridge, a stove, or a washing machine, things that will help us save money and time. That's where we should use the card if we don't have immediate cash. So I always recommend that you really analyze whether it's something essential before you go out making installments. Expense number 9. Expensive technology. It's very common to see someone using an expensive iPhone and being in debt. This is to reflect on the importance of a person's financial education. Imagine the amount of money you could save by buying a cell phone with almost the same features, which offers everything you need without affecting your savings. This doesn't just happen with cell phones, but also with other expensive technological devices. Expense number 10. Having too many subscription services. Poor people who usually want to get out of poverty are the ones who consume the most in the world. That's why if you go into their homes, you'll see them with Netflix, cable TV, high-speed cell phone plans, and then you'll hear them complaining that there isn't enough money. Think about the services that are indispensable for your work or your convenience and adapt the plans according to your possibilities. Cut out all the services that are not essential to your life. Only in this way will you be able to reduce those silly expenses that damage your finances. We must always bear in mind that if we want to make progress and improve our economy, our spending must always be less than our income. I'm not saying that we should never spend on anything, just that we should eliminate these main unnecessary expenses that cause us to lose money for nothing, and most of them damage our personal lives. Let us know in the comments what you think of these habits and which ones you're going to change in 2024. In order to make these changes, you need a great deal of willpower. While we can create healthy habits for our lives and finances, so it will all depend on how committed you are to improving and achieving success. Thanks for joining me on this video. Subscribe to Time to Invest to continue receiving valuable content, and leave a like to motivate us to bring you even more videos. See you in the next video.